To our channel for another video, and if you are new to our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit your notification bell so that you are notified every single time that we upload videos. But in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make Salisbury meatballs. Not Salisbury steak, but Salisbury meatballs. And with Salisbury meatballs with mashed potatoes and gravy. Excuse that noise in the background. If y'all hear that, that is the washing machine running, because I'm multitasking right now. I'm trying to cook and wash clothes at the same time. But yeah, so let's get into this video. What I need for this recipe is some potatoes, and these are actually some white potatoes that we got from Wegmans. And you make sure you get like the light brown potatoes. Do not get like them dark brown rusted potatoes, because if you don't know or you're not aware, all potatoes do not cook the same. Like, it's certain potatoes you use for potato salad, it's certain potatoes you use for mashed potatoes, because the texture of different potatoes are different. So that's why I say get this one, because this is a good potato to make mashed potatoes with. So what you're going to do with these, you're going to peel the skin off of these and dice them up into cubes and then boil them. And then you're going to need a purple onion. And these little cubes right here, I'm sorry y'all, I throw away the package, but they are vegan beef vegetable broth cubes, and they're called beef bouillons. And yeah, I actually like using the cubes better because they're more flavorful than actual just the liquid broth, because the liquid broth basically be tasting like a slight flavor, but not too much of a flavor, but more like on a watery side. So I like to use these better, because this will definitely flavor your food much more. And you're gonna need some garlic cloves. You're gonna need, for the seasonings and stuff, you're gonna need some grapeseed oil, some Himalayan sea salt, some coconut amino acid seasoning sauce, some basil, some onion powder, some garlic powder, some baby Bella mushrooms. And I get these mushrooms because out of all the mushrooms I tasted, besides the oyster mushrooms, I kind of like these the best. And yeah, I kind of like these the best, these and the oyster mushrooms. But for this recipe, these ones are perfect. And then you're going to need some coconut cream, and this I'm going to be using as my thickener. Sometimes, I mean, you can use flour if you have it. If you don't have this, you can use flour, but sometimes I don't always want to put flour into my my gravies and stuff like that, so I use this coconut cream as my thickener. And make sure that you freeze this while you're prepping your potatoes and doing your other stuff, because you want this to be solid for when you're ready to use it, because that's going to help to thicken your gravy. But if it's liquid, it's not going to really churn out as well. Okay, and then you're going to need some meatballs. I just got these meatballs from Whole Foods. I mean, you can make yours from scratch or your preference, but I mean, to make this video a little bit quicker and the recipe a little bit more faster, I just grabbed some meatballs from Whole Foods. But yeah, y'all, that's everything you'll need. And if I wind up adding something else that I forgot to tell y'all or mention right now, I will throw it up on the camera so that y'all are able to see everything step by step, because I want y'all to be able to walk away with this video and be able to make it at home if y'all want. So just like I said, I might have forgot something, but make sure y'all wash your potatoes before y'all use them. And I will also be using nutritional yeast for this recipe. Y'all, the potatoes is all diced up and boiling. Make sure you boil your potatoes in either cold water or room temperature water, because you want to give that starch enough time to soften up, and so your potatoes can come out a very, very nice texture. Y'all waiting for while the potatoes is getting ready, y'all can put your meatballs in the oven. And if y'all getting these specific kind of meatballs, y'all can put them in the oven for 20 minutes on 375 degrees. Now what y'all want to do is add some oil to your pan. Not too much, because y'all don't want it to be like too y'all want the gravy to be too oily. And I know that I'm cooking with a wok, y'all. This is not the pan to be making gravy with, but I'm going to be using this pan because it's deep enough for my meatballs to be able to sit in and soak inside the gravy. Make sure your fire is on low heat, because y'all don't want any of your onions or garlic or mushrooms or anything to be burning. Y'all just want it to be enough heat to soften everything. Once everything looks softened up, you want to now add your coconut cream. Alright, y'all, so this is how your coconut cream should look after you take it out the freezer. Nice and solid. You do not want it to be liquid. If it is liquid, it hasn't been in the freezer long enough. So put it back in the freezer and make sure that it's solid and it looks just like this. And then once you use all the cream out the can, you're going to have some of the coconut water left at the bottom. Make sure you keep that, because we're going to add this to this mixture as well to help to stretch out the gravy and make more gravy, so it's not like too thick. You have enough water and enough thickness to it. After you add your coconut cream, you want to add some of your coconut amino seasoning sauce. Alright, y'all, so this is how your gravy should look once it's all done. And if mine just came out light brown, considering that I use considering that I use coconut cream and I did not use soy sauce. So if you want yours to be darker, you can use soy sauce, but we don't use soy sauce because of the sodium is so high. So I would prefer my gravy being lighter than to be intaking too much sodium. But yeah, this is how your gravy should look. Your mushrooms, your onions, everything nice and, you know, thick but not too thick. And that's how your gravy. Okay, y'all, so while I'm waiting for the potatoes to finish up, because the gravy is finished, the meatballs are finished, I'm just letting them sit in the oven so they can stay warm. But right now I'm just waiting for the potatoes to get finished. But let me just tell y'all this. I know that a lot of people be asking us like, well, are y'all going to give exact measurements, or how much of this did you use, or how much of that you use? When I do recipes, I try to, that's why I try to break it down as simple as possible, so you can put like one and one together to make the recipe. But as far as seasoning, I always recommend that you season to your liking, because the seasoning, the amount of seasoning that I use may not be preferably the right amount of seasoning that you like. So therefore, in my videos, I don't put exact amount of measurements. And another thing is, to be honest, like, we don't measure anything. Like, the only time we might measure something is if we baking, because when you baking and you don't measure, one wrong move, your whole dish is done with. But as far as for food, like, we don't measure. Over here we do season and taste until we get the taste that we're looking for, and that's how we get the job done. Like, we do not season and we do not measure our seasonings. So all the seasonings that I use for this recipe, make sure you use the seasonings to your liking, your taste buds, or whatever the case may be, because I'm sorry, I know that's technically not good for when you're doing recipe videos, because a lot of recipe videos give you like exact measurements, but my measurements is season and taste, okay? And maybe in the future I'll start building up to like starting to jot down my recipes and exact measurements and all that type of stuff. But for now, like, I just do it how I was raised, like season. Okay, y'all, now that the meatballs is done, all you want to do is just take your meatballs and just drop them into the gravy, so they can sit a little while and soak down in there and marinate in that sauce and that seasoning, get them flavors going. And this is going to help them to get soft and tender and soak in some of them flavors from the gravy. Now, once your potatoes is done and you have drained all the water out of them, you're going to just take a potato masher like this and just mash them up.